Welcome everyone to today's program, and I'm going to be at the whiteboard through the whole program from start to finish because many of you were emailing me asking me questions about your scalp. And it all went from a past episode I did about hair loss and the 3 different forms of hair loss. But many of your questions have to do with the scalp, so we're going to address those scalp problems. Many of the emails came from men and others came from women, so we're going to tackle both of the issues, and believe it or not, it really just comes down to one. So let's look at the symptoms real quick. Many of you said that you have an itchy scalp all day long. Some of them, it bothers you at night. Burning scalp. The burning scalp, this is extremely uncomfortable. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know what it feels like. It even goes through the night and disrupts your sleep. Bumps on the scalp. Many of you complain about the little bumps that appear ever so often on the back of the head, on the sides of the head. They can be very painful. Also flaky scalp, dandruff, that's an easy remedy. But all of these symptoms lead to hair loss, but we also cannot ignore hormone imbalance in both men and women. And believe it or not, the hormone problem is the same, and we're going to get into that, okay? So these are the issues that all of you emailed me about, because when it comes to hair loss, we can't ignore the health of the scalp, okay? So with an itchy scalp, just, how many of you, now especially men, we like to wash our hair every single day. Women, sometimes they'll wash their hair every day. Some of them will do it every other day or every couple of days. Make sure you're using a shampoo that literally cleans the hair, the scalp, gets down into the hair follicle section, so that way you clean out any of the DHT that builds up around the hair follicle, because what will happen is that it will actually choke out your hair. So let me show you something really quick. Okay, here's your hair, okay? Here's your scalp, okay? Right at the bottom is when you get a lot of the dirt build up, but this is also a DHT buildup, okay? So what happens is when the DHT builds up, your hair falls out. What replaces it is a thinner, smaller hair, eventually till there's no hair. So we want to stop it immediately, and it's extremely easy to do. So let's look at some of the nutrients real quick, because we're talking about scalp problems, okay? All right. Vitamin A. This is the #1 skin health vitamin in the world. We have to have vitamin A. Most people now are deficient in vitamin A. Your diet is poor because you live on hydrogenated oils, and all of these things have no vitamins. Just because you go to the grocery store and you buy a box of Fruit Loops and it says it contains 8 essential vitamins and minerals, please, that does not give you good health, all right? Just because it's in there doesn't mean you're going to benefit from it, because the sugar will nullify all of it, all right? So now I know some of you are thinking, but I like Fruit Loops, and some of you are like, but I like Trix, or Count Dracula. I don't know, whatever you eat. Maybe eat, I don't know, what do you call it? Shredded wheat? That's a better, just don't do the frosted one. All right, vitamin D3. This works with vitamin A. These are your 2 fat-soluble nutrients. Vitamin D3, you can get it from the sun, or you can take it as a supplement. But I suggest both. Why? Because the body will use vitamin D3 from the sun and in the supplement form in different ways. Get both. If you go outside to get some sunshine and you're at the house, go outside in your bare feet. Walk in the grass. That's grounding, and you're going to feel so much better when you do that. Next, vitamin B12. Anytime you are under stress, you lower the levels of B12 in your body, and your hair falls out. Plain and simple, okay? Folic acid. Folic acid and B12 are needed to make sure you don't end up with anemia, okay? But at the same time, they're needed for a healthy scalp. Biotin. We all know by now that biotin is a vital nutrient for the hair. It actually helps the hair to grow. Selenium. This is really cool. Selenium, if you're low in selenium, you can end up with a flaky scalp. I'll show you why. So these two are related. You ever go to the grocery store, you're looking at all the shampoos, and you're like, should I buy Selsun Blue? You know what the cell part of Selsun Blue stands for? Selenium. That's why it stops dandruff. Selenium as a nutrient is one of the most important trace minerals for the human body that we need. It is needed for your scalp. It is needed for your liver. It's needed for your thyroid. It's needed for your immune system. 200 micrograms a day, you need it every single day, okay? Remember that. MSM. Remember how many people used to take MSM because it was kind of like a remedy for pain relief when it came to arthritis? Well, it's a sulfur type compound, but this is what is needed for a healthy skin. And I want to say this, I always have to say this. Nobody on the face of the earth is allergic to sulfur. Many people say, well, I'm allergic to a drug called sulfa. Right, sulfa is not sulfur. Two completely different things. One's a drug, one's a mineral. If you're not allergic to eggs, you're not allergic to sulfur, okay? This is vital for healthy skin. And you take this, your skin will clear up, believe it or not. Then there's PABA. PABA is found in the B vitamin complex family. It's needed for healthy skin. People who are low PABA may end up with a condition called vitiligo, where the pigment of the skin goes away. PABA has actually been known as a remedy for that, but people are still trying to figure out how to stop it. So let's get to the burning scalp, the bumps on the scalp, and the hair loss and the hormonal balance. Horsetail grassroot contains silica. Silica is a trace mineral that makes the hair shaft very, very, very strong, okay? You want it to be strong, but here's the cool thing. It's also part of all of our connective tissue in our body. You take horsetail grassroot, you end up with stronger and longer fingernails, your skin will be better, your hair will be stronger. So ladies, if you complain of your hair breaking off, horsetail grassroot is the remedy. These two here, saw palmetto and nettle leaf, these are the ones that address DHT, dihydrotestosterone. When we have testosterone in our body, it can convert to dihydrotestosterone, which causes your hair to fall out. If the levels are so high, now, and men, if you were on testosterone therapy, remember, you need to take these two herbs and some other ones to get that DHT to go down so you don't end up with hair loss, you don't end up with bumps on the scalp, you don't end up with a burning scalp, and for some you may end up with an itchy scalp. All three of these are actually linked together, okay? So these are the all-natural remedies. Now the other thing that I love to add is essential oils like omega-3s. Omega-3s are vital for every cell in the body. But right now, when we're talking about scalp problems, all of these nutrients will greatly improve the health of your scalp. And you will literally notice it. Now here's the thing about this. All of these nutrients are found in a supplement from Primrose Leaf called Hair Active. You take as directed. Here's the cool thing. How do you know if it's working? We all know that we notice hair loss more in the shower. How do you know? You look down at the drain, okay? Many times you notice that when you're washing your hair, you don't feel a whole lot of hair coming out. That means you know it's working. Hair Active from Primrose Leaf, I've had so many people contact me telling me how much they absolutely love it. They heard about it on our show, and it's working for them. That's all that matters. But here's the cool thing. It wasn't just made for hair loss. It was made to improve people who have scalp problems. You have to address the health of the scalp to address hair loss. So here's what you do. You call 844-926-0007 or go to primroseleaf.com. They have an incredible special on the Primrose Leaf Hair Active, but you have to call to find out what that great special is. Hey, stick with me because when I come back, we're going to talk about cortisol in relation to hair loss, but I'm also going to give you some deep, dark, cool secrets to stop the aging process because, hey, I personally want to look as young as I can for as long as I can, and we can all join that group at the same time. I'll be right back.
There are 3 common forms of hair loss in women, but no matter what type you or someone you know may have, none of them are something you should have to suffer with. Primrose Leaf's Hair Active helps slow down hair loss and provides your hair and your scalp with proper nutrition. Join the thousands of people who are back to combing and brushing their hair again. Hair Active strengthens hair, improves texture, and increases fullness. Hair Active provides the essential vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients necessary for healthy hair and nails. Call Primrose Leaf today, 844-926-0007 for Hair Active, the safe, natural, effective way to improve the health of your hair and scalp. Call now, 844-926-0007 or visit us at primroseleaf.com.